A room with a view of the whole city. Fashion luxury, that's what he's got pretty.
Have you ever experienced that? Strollers that are parked on an escape route in the hotel, meaning in the hotel corridors. You somehow arrive and then you see in front of the neighbor's door, there's a large stroller. And then I think to myself, how is that possible? Why doesn't anyone check that? First of all, the question, what makes people leave their stroller outside? Why don't they take it into their room? Because they could just park it right in front of the door. Well, anyway, why people do that? Why people thereby provoke a situation that in the event of a fire breaking out or an emergency where you need to quickly open the door and use the escape routes, such a stroller would obviously be a real obstacle. And that these people don't even think about these things themselves. But as I have seen, sometimes even add waste baskets or more trash with the attitude someone might pick it up. We are indeed in times when hotels are understaffed, and we have reached a point where I must seriously question this. It is simply no longer acceptable for people to check into a hotel so thoughtlessly, so aimlessly, and then think, well, I don't care if others survive in the event of an escape attempt, if a fire breaks out. And I mean, that's what it's about. Escape routes once again. And that's why I said I have to make this video, to make it clear once again. The escape routes, in fact, all paths in a hotel, must be clear up to the emergency exit. Meaning, I come out of my room, then there is an escape plan that one should always look at carefully when entering a room. That means once you know that, you can open the door and know that your escape route to the emergency staircase is to the right or left. And if you consider that in a panic, where there is also smoke, you can't even see the cart, and you might trip over such things, potentially preventing you from leaving the hotel in time. These are nightmare scenarios. And there should be, in my opinion, a severe punishment for people who, yes, park anything, even suitcases, outside the door in the escape route of a hotel, and the hotel should also be sued and fined heavily for not ensuring that these escape routes are kept clear. The same applies to what I always do. I always check my escape routes in every hotel. I go all the way to the emergency staircase, open the door to see if it opens. I have also experienced that the doors were locked. Then I pointed it out. Then I experienced, especially in US hotels in America, that beds or mattresses were placed in the escape routes. So I naturally informed the hotel and said, listen, you can't do that. If you don't clear it away, I will have to file a report, because in case of an emergency, it could save my life if the escape route is clear, and if it is blocked, it could obviously take my life. So these fundamental things are a real mystery to me, that firstly, people themselves are the cause and do not take responsibility for other people. That means, well, when I go to a hotel, I also have to think about the other guests. This is simply part of the interaction when you are somewhere unfamiliar. And that's why it's important that escape routes, again, escape routes are there so that in an emergency, for example in a fire, I can move quickly without any problems and without having to think about a stroller being there. So I can quickly navigate this path in case of heavy smoke. And then, of course, find my stairs using the lights, which are also important, so that everything works properly. And I can get down or up as quickly as possible. And when people are so inconsiderate that they leave their strollers or other items out in the hallway without thinking that these are escape routes, I have to say clearly, it's time for these people to pay an extremely high fine. And if they do it again, they should be banned from going to a hotel with their children and other belongings, because they are putting the lives of all the hotel's guests at risk. And with that, all guests get an absolute no-go from me, a thumbs down, because they are so inconsiderate. And The hotel also gets a thumbs down, so both thumbs down, because the hotel is not capable of taking action when they recognize that someone is doing something, well, criminal here, to clearly and explicitly inform the guest and tell them, just like they do with smoking guests. If you have a stroller, you can place it down here with us. Or we have a separate room for strollers, but you can also take it to your room. But you are not allowed to place it in the escape route outside. I hope that in the future there will no longer be such incidents.
Above the clouds, the Hun flies. Every destination brings joy to his eyes. He knows the best hotels.